Hi guys and welcome to this video. Today I'm quite excited because I've been thinking about this build for some time. This is going to be a homage to a Seiko Pogue from the 1970s, specifically the 6139. This is what the watch looks like that we're trying to resemble here. This idea actually came from a friend of mine in Saudi Arabia. He got in touch via at NamokiMODS Dubai and put this idea forward to me, and I'm so pleased he did because I would have never have thought to do this myself. So as you can see with the original reference, the 6139, it is very much a collector's item now, of course no longer produced. It's got this very cool sort of retro colorway, which you really don't see anymore. I don't think I've seen any other watch like it actually, and it's got a bit of that retro vibe, but it somehow just works well. And of course this watch actually was the first automatic chronograph in space. The name Pogue comes from Colonel William Pogue, I believe, who was the astronaut that wore this on that mission alongside his standard issue Omega Speedmaster. And that sort of won the hearts of many collectors worldwide. So this watch now is very hard to buy, or very hard to get in a good condition. So what we are going to be doing here is having a go at making a homage to that watch using these parts from a modern Seiko 5 family. Some Seiko 5 Sport parts here, some SKX style parts. There are a few key differences. Of course, there is no chronograph, that's number one. But we are trying to maintain that look, that sort of retro color scheme, that gold dial, even throw in some little retro cues. The hands are very similar and so on. We are gonna actually put it on this Jubilee bracelet. However, I may try it on an oyster just to see how it looks. Perhaps it'll look a little better, or a little more like the original. Now, first of all, if you like what I'm doing here, please hit that subscribe button. Please hit like on the video as well if you enjoy it at the end. You can follow me at NamokiMODS Dubai, where all of this stuff gets released and shown first. And of course, you can chat to me on there and request a build. So let's have a look at the parts that I'm going to use for this, and this is probably going to be a one-off build for me because, to be honest, some of these parts are very hard to come by. So I just even need to look at my notes because there's about 4 watches worth of parts here, even silly little things. So let's start with, well, the bracelet I've already showed you. This is a Watch and Style or NamokiMODS. I can't quite remember where I got this now, but these are very high quality Jubilee bracelets. That's an SKX style bracelet. Nothing new there. That's quite easy to get hold of. This dial is actually, some of you subscribers might know, I reviewed the watch this dial came from. That is the SRPE 74K1. We've also got a 4-hour 36 movement under there. Now I'll come back to the movement because we are going to make a little change with that as well. So that gold dial, as you can see, let's throw the picture of the Pogue back up. This is what we found as a modern version of that dial. Of course, not chronograph, but this is the best thing I think we could find to match that color scheme. Very rare to find a yellow or a yellow gold dial for Seikos actually. There are a few, but I just love the color of this one. I think this one will work. Next, the case. So some of you, if you're aware of what the Pogue case looks like, again, here's the picture. You may have thought we should use a turtle case, Seiko turtle case. Now there's a couple of reasons we didn't. That is the first thing I looked at actually. But the reason we didn't was, firstly, there's a lot more SKX size parts available. So for example, I'll come on to the bezel in a minute, but the correct color bezel is not really easily found for a turtle. Also things like straps are somewhat more limited, and various other parts. And actually as well, the turtle is quite a big case. The original Pogue was not a huge watch. It was quite big by 70 standards, but it wasn't a big watch. So we wanted to keep the size down a little bit, as the standard turtle cases are quite chunky. So we've gone with a NamokiMODS, no crown guard, standard brushed lugs and polished sides. So very much SKX style, just without the crown guards. And let me show you what that actually looks like when we attach the crown. So this is a sandblasted crown. You'll see we are mixing up some finishes here. We're adding sandblasted parts as well. Now this looks a bit like a wart sticking out the side, but believe me, when the bezel is on as well, it's going to look great. It's going to look a bit like that bottom pusher on the original Pogue, if I throw the picture up again. And also the reason we're using some of these sandblasted parts is to give that sort of vintage patina look that you will see on a lot of the kind of pictures you'll find online of the Pogue now. They're all used old watches, so we're trying to get that retro look. So not all flashy and not all polished. Now, this case has actually already been built up a little bit. In here, we've got a double dome sapphire crystal from NamokiMODS, which is clear coated. That is to sort of maintain that color of the dial as well. And a beige chapter ring. Now this requires another watch. This is this chapter ring is actually from the SRPD 67K1, which I had quite a while ago, and I just so happened to have this beige chapter ring. So why are we using a beige chapter ring? Well, have a look at this photo. This is a well-worn and slightly kind of older Pogue, and of course that chapter ring does tend to go lighter as it ages, so actually we quite like that look, and I wanted to retain that as much as we can. Just so happened I had this part, but it may be a little tricky to find if you wanted to repeat this mod yourself without buying a watch, of course. Now, moving on, the bezel. This is Watch and Style's loomed sapphire, loomed sapphire glass bezel. See if I can get the reflection. It's not actually attached yet. I've just put it in the, I'm referring to it, the insert here. The bezel itself is a sandblasted coin edge bezel from NamokiMODS. Again, to try and keep that vintage matte style. You can see it's quite reflective. I'm being dead careful with this because I don't want it to fall out and potentially break before I fit it, but all of the white parts there are loomed, and I will show you, of course, a loom shot at the end of this video. But it's got to be that Pepsi color. It isn't quite the same layout. Again, here's the photo. It isn't quite the same layout as the Pogue, but a nice bezel insert, very nice bezel insert, especially that it's sapphire. First one I've seen, very high quality parts from Watch and Style. Next, we're almost there, guys. We're keeping the original exhibition case back, the standard Seiko case back from the 5KX line as well. And we show you these carefully. Black day wheel. So that's the little movement change we're going to do. This one's actually got Arabic as well, so that is going to switch out with this one. And a black date. That's a little detail I spotted on the Pogue, that they have a black day date actually as well. So that is that's something we're going to add. That actually came from a SKX007 Mod. However, you can buy movements with these already. These stick, I'll show you the hour, these stick type hands actually came from an SKX007 Mod, another Seiko model. So we're up to about 4 watches required at this stage. So the hour and minute hands are the simple style, which I guess, let me put that picture again, do match up with the hands on the Pogue as well quite nicely. And finally, the red seconds hand. See if I can get close enough so you can see. Quite simple, straight seconds hand. That is the SKX007 Mod, which I had actually used that for the day and date, I believe, as well. So let's leave that there. This is the collection of parts. Let's see what this turns into, and let's review the watch against the original. Keep watching and see how we do. So here it is, guys, the finished watch. So the SKX007 Pogue. This is the Pogue reimagined in the modern way, which is exactly what we wanted to do. It's got a modern premium feel to it, nice heft to it as well. We've gone for all premium parts, original Seiko parts where possible as well. And just this color scheme, I think, really works. It's not something that you might choose to do, but as a reference, as a homage to an original Seiko reference, I think we did a great job in choosing those parts and getting them together in this way. So let's have a look at both side by side now that we've got the finished one. And of course you can see there are some clear differences. However, I think we've managed to capture that character, the color scheme and the style of the original watch in this new rendition, which is much more modern and much more, I guess, fashionable now than the Pogue would be. The clear differences are, of course, the bracelet, as mentioned, the fact that it's not a chronograph. The dial is a little lighter in gold color than on the original, or at least on these pictures I can see. We've kept that beige chapter ring, which I think was a really nice addition, actually, because it does just add that kind of patina effect almost, and it does actually match the color of the loomed parts of the watch. It shows up more in person, actually, but I'll show you a loom shot, of course, at the end, because we've got that sapphire loomed bezel from Watch and Style as well, that bezel insert. The sandblasted parts don't shout out or don't stick out sort of straight away. You really have to look carefully before you notice them, but I think the combinations of finishes, so we've got the polished sides, the sandblasted bezel insert, then we've got the brushed tops of the lugs, the brushed parts of the bracelet, polished bracelet. So you think this may turn into a mess of finishes, but I think having just two parts sandblasted and some of the matte parts like the chapter ring and so on the dial, but then reflective parts like the bezel insert in sapphire, and of course the sapphire crystal with no AR coating. This is a domed sapphire too, so it has got that vintage kind of vibe as well. And I think this just came out great. I love this watch for what it is. We weren't ever going to be able to copy the Pogue exactly, but I think what we've come up with is a much more modern version, something that will that you'll be able to wear every day, not worry about. It's not a collector's piece, it's a homage to a collector's piece, and I think that's what Seiko modding is all about. And when you can mod a Seiko to be a kind of homage to an original Seiko that you can't buy, or even if you could buy, you might not wear very much because, you know, it might be tricky to service and get parts for. You can do that with Seiko 5 Sports, SKXs. There's so many parts available. You can basically make any design you choose. So big shout out to nomadic.frame on Instagram, who is in Saudi Arabia. He got in touch with me at Seiko Mods Dubai to commission this, and I'm so pleased he did. I've been thinking about this one for a while before I even replied to his response, and then since then it's snowballed, and here we are with the finished product. I think he will be very happy with this. In fact, I know he already is, because he's already seen, of course, pictures and videos from me. And as he's a very talented photographer, I can't wait to see his shots of this watch as well. So give him a follow and see how his journey with this watch continues. But as the Pogue, the original Pogue, let's have another view of that watch here. As this watch design turns 50 years old, I think we've really nailed the modern reference, the modern style of it, which is what we came out to do, and I'm so pleased that I was able to do it. So of course, just a quick look around. We've got, of course, the sandblasted crown pops out nicely. It is a no crown guard case to try and keep that flow of the original watch without the big crown guards you usually get. Stop seconds, of course, on the 4R36 movement. We've got the black day date wheels, which is not an easy thing to do, and especially not so easy to find with Arabic as the second language on there as well. So that just adds to the intrigue and perhaps rarity of this model. So you've got the quick set day date, you've got hand winding, and it's a no crown guard, screw down crown. So you're going to retain a lot of water resistance with this as well, nice and secure. The bezel action on this is beautiful. It is quite tight, but definitely a lot more premium feeling than a lot of other watches like this. So I'm really pleased with how this NamokiMODS bezel fit their case beautifully. So you can hear those really nice soft defined clicks, and there is literally no gap between the bezel and the case. Now let's see the Lume shot, because I know a lot of you will be interested in that one. So here's the watch all loomed up. Just moved it to a slightly darker place in my darker wall in my flat to show you this, but looks awesome at night. The quality on the bezel lume is excellent as well. It really comes through clearly through that sapphire, similar to, of course, the original Seiko lume. The hands, because the original Seiko hands have the same strong Seiko lume as the rest of the markers as well. So this is going to look epic at night. So we're back from the Lume shot, and I'll just show you some of the parts we didn't see before, including that exhibition case back and the 4R36 movement whirring away in there. You've got the solid link bracelet. This one's from Watch and Style, really nice Jubilee with plenty of flex to make it comfortable, but not too much to the point where it feels cheap or not refined. Milled clasp, 3 points of adjustment on there, and of course the little locking system as well. Screwed links, I didn't know if I mentioned that, screwed links as well, which is of course useful for sizing. This one's already been sized for nomadic.frame on Instagram, who's the lucky owner of this watch actually, and he's an awesome photographer too, so please check out his Instagram. I'll link it below for perhaps some updates in the future on this watch. Now, I've loved this project. Hopefully you've got the passion I had for it through in this video. If you've got an idea like this, don't hesitate to contact me at Seiko Mods Dubai, and we will see what we can do. I've really enjoyed making a homage to a Seiko in a modern way here, and I think we've really achieved that. Let us know what you think in the comments. As you can tell, I'm in love with this watch, and I hope you are too. Please subscribe for future videos, and I will see you next time. Thank you.